go to Chicago, to the windy city of America. Gold Coast down.
What is up? Welcome into another episode on Wide Eye Sports. Today we are talking Chicago Bears off-season plan. We're going to get all up in the business of the Chicago Bears. We're going to look at, fifth-year options. We're going to look at release candidates, trade candidates, roster, cap, all of it. We want to start, though, with the stadium talk, obviously, the big talking point of the Chicago Bears recently. Riley is our Chicago Bears insider here on the channel. And Riley, tell us what you know.
So, obviously, there was the soft commitment that came out over the past week. The bill that was passed in Indiana proposing essentially the financial terms of what a Bears move to Indiana would look like. Now, obviously, this sparked all sorts of outrage, and there seems to be a lot of confusion as to what the Bears are asking for and what the state of Illinois is willing to offer. So let's see, back in 2023, the Bears bought the property in Arlington Heights, right? They have been trying to get a stadium there.
Time out. The Falcons have officially franchise tagged Kyle Pitts.
Dude,
Just happened.
As you were for Cole Kmet. But So this all started back in 2023 when the Bears bought Arlington Heights with the plan to build it.
Mm-hmm.
What they are willing to do is put $2 billion into building the stadium. What they're looking for is help with infrastructure like roads, sewers, and a new railway.
Which every other city that has an NFL stadium has paid for. Plus more from taxpayers.
Yes.
To be fair to the Bears, obviously I don't do that very often, but to be fair to the Bears, what they are asking for is absolutely the bare minimum from a team in regards to building a new stadium in a big city, yes. Especially from Chicago, the biggest single team market in America. I harp on that all the time. They should be doing literally whatever the Bears want them to do. They should be, if the Bears went to them and said, hey, we want you to pay for the whole stadium and taxpayer money for it, that rate would be one of the lowest in the country as far as the taxpayers paying for a stadium, and they should be head over heels about it. And I just don't understand it.
This has been going on since 2023. And every time the Bears have gone up to Illinois officials, they've said, this isn't really a priority for us. We'll talk about it next year.
I mean, they sorry to interrupt again. They literally did that last week.
Yes.
They literally did that. As Indiana is going, hey, we have this deal for you right here that's like free money. Like, you don't have to pay taxes and we'll pay for everything. Like right here, free. The same day, the Illinois lawmakers were like, yeah, we're just not going to talk about it today, actually. We'll get to it another time. Thanks, but no.
Yeah, they skipped out. I read that they skipped out on the damn meeting completely.
Yes. So they had announced, I believe it was November or October of this past season, that building a new stadium was not on their priority list for the 2026 calendar.
Yeah.
So it was not a priority to them until the talks with Indiana started, which is
because they didn't have another option.
Coincidental too. Now, the other thing they were wanting outside of the infrastructure help was a reduced property tax rate. Mm-hmm. Now, when they bought Arlington Heights, it used to be a horse race track.
Yeah.
They were paying, I want to say it was roughly $30 million in property taxes. After they bought it, the agreement with the horse track lapsed.
Here, come a little closer to the camera when you shoot back, it cuts in and out.
The horse track, that agreement terminated. And it shot up to 32% or almost $300 million in property taxes they were set to pay each year. To put that into perspective, SoFi, which is the newest stadium, is paying about $8 million in property taxes a year. So in my terms, their one for a justified property tax rate is not unjustified.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people want to talk about the state of Soldier Field, where the city still owes about, I want to say, $600 million on the stadium. The Bears,
Still?
yes,
Did they
because
refinance it 45 times?
interest. The interest has accrued so much, they owe more on the stadium now than when the renovations took place in 2006. And for the people who are mad about that, you are either mad about your city officials' poor financial ability,
Yeah.
or you are mad that they didn't negotiate more of a 50-50 split when the renovations took place.
Yeah.
But it is widely known that Soldier Field, not that it's not a great fan experience, but it is one of the worst fields to play on year after year. And that is not the organization's fault. It's because the field is the responsibility of the Parks and Recs Department of Chicago. So the Bears can't do anything to make the field better because the city owns it. And the city is refusing to make the field better because they don't want to have to pay. So
Yeah, I would say after having visited Soldier Field this season, it is not a absolute dump and how do people even play there?
yeah,
It
not
is
at all.
It is a very old school feeling stadium. It feels very similar. I visited the Titan Stadium last year as well. Very similar to the Titan Stadium. It's an older stadium. It gives you very nostalgic 2001 vibes, right? 2000
Yeah.
vibes. It does not feel like it doesn't feel like you're in 2026 when you walk into that stadium at all, right? They're just very old.
It
What?
kind of works for the Packers, so does it not work for the Bears having that like old school style stadium?
Well, the Packers are
The Packers are different.
The
The Packers are
stadium
different.
itself is not the issue. It's the lack of the Bears' control with the stadium.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it is the smallest NFL stadium in the league, which brings me on to my next point. You know, a lot of people are screaming this is just a move by a bunch of greedy billionaires. But the fact is, the Bears had the lowest attendance rate in the entire league because they have the smallest stadium.
Question.
So,
Okay.
yes.
So to go off that, you two have both been to Chicago
Yeah.
Soldier Field, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things that I always heard, I've never been. I've seen the stadium, but I've never like been to a game or anything. Lack of parking. That's a real thing, right?
Oh yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, huge. I mean, it is Soldier
Okay.
Field is a complex with a bunch of roads through it, and
Right.
there's 3 parking lots on this like complex, like this overview, and all of them are very good distances away. Nothing is close to the stadium.
Yeah.
You're walking a quarter mile from the closest lot. Maybe not a quarter mile, but
And you're probably spending a
walking.
shit ton of money just to park there too.
Well, there's
Oh, yeah.
tailgate lots. There's a bunch of stuff, but it's all off the highway. It's very inconvenient. There's
Very hard to get in
So-
and out of.
So
Yeah.
do you think that has something to do with the lack of attendance? It not being like a fan friendly
Well,
like
I think
like
so.
free
So hold on,
stadium
hold
thing?
on, hold on.
Okay.
If I may, one that does play into it a little bit, not a major part, but that does play into it a little bit.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing is NFL ticket prices are so high and the stadium
Yeah.
is so small that all the good seats get taken, and then you don't want to pay $350 to go sit up in BFE nosebleed seats. But the stadium's so small, the owners have to make money, and the city has to make money on it, so they charge way more cost to sit in the stadium. Like me and Riley, the game we went to, it was opening day. It was Monday Night Football. It was a division rival game. But they were not cheap tickets. Like they were
Yeah.
very expensive. Like we could have gone to Minnesota and sat in the same seats in a stadium that was opened in 2016 for less than half of what we paid in Soldier Field. And the tickets were awesome. The game was great. Had a wonderful experience until the end of the game. Bears fans were usually pretty cool. They were a little bit of a
pressed hard.
they were pretty sore losers about it. Not Riley.
There
Riley
was only
not.
one. There was really
Yeah,
only
there was one real sore loser. Death threats, but yeah. So
we can make a whole video though on ticket prices.
Oh,
With
yeah.
tons
So
of-
that's a
yeah.
whole different thing. But that's a reason that the ticket sales are down in Chicago is one, cost of living there is crazy. So they can jack the tickets up because the income there is crazy. So you have really high ticket prices, very little good seating, and nobody wants to pay really expensive ticket costs for bad seats.
Yeah.
See, and that's why, like, I don't really care. Like, screw it, let them go to Indiana, because my thought whenever like, they're wanting to move to Indiana is, oh, they're going to get a massive stadium with massive parking around. It's going to bring in like people.
I wouldn't say massive. I doubt they build anything bigger than 75,000.
Well, probably. Well, okay,
70 to 75,000.
It's going to be.
people.
It's probably going to be a more comfortable stadium. We'll
Oh,
say
for
that.
sure. Oh,
Okay.
for sure.
It's going to be a more comfortable stadium with a lot more parking.
All the new
it's gonna be a lot
stadiums
more. It's going to be a lot more fan friendly. So, like, why not? In my opinion, I don't care. Like, I know people get mad because they're like, I already saw the tweets and everything talking about the Indiana Bears and stuff. They're not going to change their name.
Yeah, they
Like,
can't change things.
But all I see is.
But they can't use the C
really.
anymore because it's Chicago. I think they have to change their primary logo to the head-on bear. I think you have to change
I think the bear looks cooler than the C, honestly.
Well, it does. But I think you have to, even if you're going to keep the name the Chicago Bears, like I feel like you have to change the primary logo because you're not playing in Chicago anymore.
Yeah.
I think the New York Giants should.
Isn't Gary is
both the Giants and the
considered?
Jets should change their logos.
I was about to say Gary is kind of considered a suburb. Like it's
actually closer than Gary. Where they're looking at building is in Hammond, Indiana, which
It's
is
on the
closer,
state line.
It's closer to Chicago than Arlington Heights is. It's just not in Illinois. And that's what a lot of people saying, oh, it's greedy billionaires. Yes, it's going to make the owners money, but it's going to make the team a lot more money. They can reinvest into different complexes and things to make the team and the players better.
So how familiar are you guys with the Turners? TBS, TNT, the Turners, big billionaires. They own the Braves. That's why the Braves were on TV pretty much strictly.
Turners?
Yeah.
Didn't they own like TNT and stuff like that?
Yeah, they own TNT, TBS.
television.
Yeah. That's why the Braves were on TBS for the entire stretch of the 90s. Like they built the model for how billionaires want to do their stadiums when they built the Braves new stadium. They take it, you put it out 10 minutes outside the city, 15 minutes outside the city, very similar to what Jerry did in Dallas.
Yeah.
But then you build around it. You put hotels, you put restaurants, you put a casino, you build a complex around the stadium where people go stay there. They spend money at the restaurants and they're just feeding you money the entire time for going to the game for a weekend. All the out-of-town fans are staying on your property, giving you money, and that's what the Bears want to do. And the city of Illinois is salty about that because they still owe so much money on the Chicago stadium. So they don't want to let the billionaires start making a bunch of money when they owe them a bunch of money already. And they're just salty. It's good business and they should be allowed to do it. If you're smart enough to do it, you should be allowed to.
See, and back to my point real quick, just to like go off of what you're saying, is that I did not go to a Cowboys game this year. Tickets are freaking outrageous. They're $200 to sit in the nosebleeds. You end up watching the damn screen the whole time anyway. But regardless, I almost went to a Cowboys game just to tailgate because of what they've built around it. It's so easy to get in and out, find a parking spot, and just sit there and tailgate. And I was going to meet my family down there and I told them, I was like, hey, I'll go tailgate with you guys for like 2 or 3 hours, but I'm not spending that much money to go into the stadium. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you can't even do that in Arrowhead anymore. You can't even just go tailgate. You have to have a ticket.
That's crazy to me. That is absolutely insane. That is so stupid. It is all about infrastructure and ease in and out of stadiums nowadays. Like Minnesota it is plopped right in the middle of a city. And Riley will tell you, it is not super hard to get in and out of that stadium. Like we have never struggled to get in. We're usually there a little earlier, but they have stuff going on.
The train leads right next to
there's a literal
another thing the Bears are wanting is
there's a light rail right outside the front doors of the Viking Stadium. So they just have light rail trains coming and going for 2-3 hours. There's big lines to get in and off that train, and the trains are packed, but it's right there. It'll take you all the way to the airport. It'll take you to St. Paul. It'll take you to the other side of Minneapolis. Like tons of ease getting in and out of the stadium. I feel like this is kind of
Soldier Field is lacking right now.
And honestly,
go ahead.
Stuff a new stadium in Indiana would severely lack. It would be more of a Dallas style stadium where big parking lots, very open, easy to get in and out of that way. but it would not be like a Viking stadium where you could just hop on a train and go back to your hotel, go to your house, go to a parking lot to pick up your car. Like it would not be like that. It would be very Dallas style where you have, 14 parking lots all around the stadium that are, several, probably 1,000 cars deep. So
I think that would be more fun though for the Chicago Bears fans. I think they would enjoy that a lot more than what they're dealing with right now.
You say that until it's -12 outside and you have to go tailgate.
The fans will plow it.
You don't have to go tailgate. You get to go tailgate.
You get the opportunity.
That is a good point, Steve. You get to go tailgate.
You get to go.
I would like to pivot. We've talked a lot about the stadium. We kind of got off track of the original point of the episode. We're 15 minutes deep. Let's go. Let's look here at the Chicago Bears and their cap situation. Let's create an off-season guideline for the Chicago Bears.
So I looked ahead real quick. Yep. Question for Riley.
Yep.
You guys are $9 million below the cap.
Yep.
So I'm looking right now, and from your top 14 paid players, there's 3 of them that would save you $7.5 million or more if you just cut them. So you cut 2 of those guys, and you're already back over the cap. But the thing is, I don't know if you would want to cut any of them. So let me just list the 4 guys, and I want to know what you would do with them. Okay.
Yep.
So Montez Sweat is one of them that would save you a shit ton of money. DeAndre Swift would save you a ton of money. Cole Kmet would save you a ton of money.
I already got it. DeAndre Swift gone. Save you. You're welcome.
Okay, so I would cut Swift personally, but go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so it was Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edwards, and Cole Kmet are the other 3 that would save you a bunch of money and get you back over the cap. You would cut Edmonds. Okay.
You said Tremaine Edwards. Not
Edmonds. Sorry.
I would argue Tremaine Edmonds is the best player on that list.
Yeah. No. Okay, that's what I was. I figured you wouldn't cut him.
No, I would cut Edmonds just because I think Edwards.
Oh yeah, you cut out a little bit.
As far as a game to game, like I like TJ Edwards more than I do Tremaine Edmonds. I think he's more impactful on a game to game basis, so I wouldn't mind losing Tremaine all that much.
Well, that one cut right there would save you $15 million, and then you don't even have to really cut DeAndre Swift. But you cut DeAndre Swift too, and then now you're $22 million over the cap, so you can sign all your rookies. You can probably, I don't know, you can spend a little bit of more money too, but
especially if you restructure Montez's deal.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to outright cut him, but I think he's being paid a little
30 years
more
old,
than
man.
his impact.
30 years old, getting up there.
No, TJ Edwards though, you can't cut him because you cut him, you're losing $2 million. You're losing money. So
yes, even if you saved money cutting TJ, I would still want to keep him.
Okay, cool. Well, that was my big question about the cap.
So I have something I want to say.
Yeah,
and I understand that you would rather cut Tremaine over TJ, and I get that. Cut DeAndre Swift.
Yeah,
Get rid of this bum. I got in an argument with a Bears fan this week, and he was trying to tell me that DeAndre Swift was all that in a bag of chips. And by God, I may be a Minnesota Vikings fan, but by God, this is a Bears podcast, and I'm trying to do what's best for you guys right now.
Yes. Hey, if it makes all of our listeners feel better, Brenner said all these same things when he was on the Eagles.
Yeah, got it. So my number one argument against DeAndre Swift, is he left the team. They plopped Saquon Barkley into his role on the team, and then Saquon Barkley immediately had, with the same team, 1,000 more yards.
Yeah.
1,000. That is insane. And so I got an argument with a Bears fan this week about DeAndre Swift, and he's like, Vikings running backs aren't bad. I'm like, you're right. Like, our running backs aren't great. I love Jordan Mason, but he's a one-dimensional bruiser running back. I think he should get more touches, but like, I'm not trying to sit here and say he's top 15. He's maybe in that top 20 range, but like, he's a one-dimensional power back. That's what he is. He's a great 1B to a 1A. And Aaron Jones
is a goal line back for sure. Like, you give him the goal line touches.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. So I thought, well, maybe I did the thing that I do when I think maybe I'm wrong. I go watch film. So I went and watched all DeAndre Swift's film from this season. I went through and I watched pretty much 80% of his total carries, except for his like long busted runs, right? Like I didn't watch him run 40 yards. I watched the play at the line of scrimmage, and if he ran through a hole 40 feet wide, I went, okay, next. So the thing I ran away with most with DeAndre Swift is his playmaking ability, his forced miss tackle rate, his make that first defender miss. He does have a little bit of that, but there's not much there. He will routinely do what the play calls for. If it's power to the right and that calls for B gap, by God, we're going B gap. I don't care if Darnell Wright's ass is right there in my face. I'm putting my face mask in it. And that's what he does. And because of that, he was 18th in rushing yards over expected in a top 3 rushing offense. 18th in rushing yards over expected. That is abysmal for the level of rushing offense the Bears were putting out. If you give me a guy who's top 7, top 5 in that, I mean, that dude's going for 1,500 yards while splitting touches. And that's the argument that Detroit gets whenever they talk about Jahmyr Gibbs, right? Because Swift plays that Jahmyr Gibbs role. And you need a lightning to the thunder. And don't get me wrong, Roschon Johnson's the thunder. He'll bring it, right? You need
Kyle
that.
Monungai.
Sorry. I said Roschon Johnson. Kyle Monungai. Hilarious. So I went and I looked up. I was like, okay, the other duos in the NFL, let me see if I can find another guy who isn't quite as fast as like DeAndre Swift. Because DeAndre Swift's more known for being shifty, but he doesn't get shifty all that often. Yeah. And so these are the other running backs, the qualified running backs, starters, that had 0 carries of over 20 miles an hour. DeAndre Swift was one of them. Quinion Judkins, Charbonnet, Warren, Mason, Kyron Williams, Marks, and Jones. All of those guys are known as like more power, tough, gritty runners, whereas DeAndre Swift is the only person on that list that's known for his outside zone run, his outside cut the corner. Like, you need a different style of player. Do I think DeAndre Swift is an NFL running back? Absolutely. Dude can play in the NFL. He proved that last year. Do I believe the Bears are handicapping their run game with him as the lead back? 1,000% yes. And you're paying him starter money.
Now that you're talking about speed, I am fairly certain it was the entire NFL. Caleb Williams was the fastest clocked player last season.
No, Isaiah Rodgers was.
Maybe it was the fastest quarterback.
It could have been It could have even been fastest offensive player, but I know for a fact that Isaiah Rodgers broke the NFL speed record on a chase down play of AJ Brown. Like, he didn't even make a tackle. He wasn't in on the play, but he was the far side corner, like chasing him down across the field, and he broke the NFL speed record on that play.
It was probably just quarterbacks.
It could have been ball carrier. It could have been ball carrier.
Not something you would have expected.
Yeah. But yeah, I have that. I have a whole like notes section on just DeAndre Swift because I want to talk about him. And there are 7 guys with more yards, so over expected. So more yards over expected with less carries. So they were getting more yards than the NFL thought they would on less carries. So it just it absolutely baffles me. And he's like 18th overall on that list. So like,
so it's safe to say that I think we're all in agreement that DeAndre Swift should probably be cut.
Yeah, and I don't even know. Like, let's say
you could even trade. I'm honestly just trade him away.
Let's
if
see.
You can. I'm sure there's a few teams that would be willing to take on an $8 million contract.
So I'm telling you guys right now. I mean,
I'll package a deal. Cole Kmet and DeAndre Swift to.
I mean, here. Tell me real quick.
That's not terrible. That's not a terrible deal, honestly.
I'm biased, but you guys can tell me. I would rather have Travis Etienne. I would rather have Rico Dowdle. I would rather have Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, a healthy J.K. Dobbins, probably. I'd rather have Kenneth Gainwell for $1 million. I'd rather have
about Rico Dowd.
Dude, I would have.
I probably would just because he's a
dude for $4 million. I'd rather have Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
I mean, that contract, yeah.
Well, even
because I mean they're similar they're similar body styles, but Rico Dowdle actually has speed. DeAndre Swift doesn't.
Yeah, and Rico Dowdle is coming off back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, rushing for Carolina, and Carolina's offensive line isn't that great. Bryce Young has struggled in and off and on. I'm not saying he's like the only thing they've had, but he's had multiple 200-yard games down there. Like, he is a guy who I would much rather have over Swift. He averaged the same yards per attempt as Swift in Carolina's offense. And the Bears that's what Ben Johnson does so well, is he runs the ball hyper efficiently, right? He's really good at run game scheme and run fits and building his roster around that. And that is huge. DeAndre Swift should have been averaging like 5.6 yards a carry, and he averaged like 4.8. And it's just, it was a lot.
Package them together, send them to Washington, Riley. Give Washington a couple more offensive weapons because they need them.
I don't think we can make a trade with Washington.
I mean, I would even take Najee Harris at $3 million. I don't know if I'd take Eckler. Eckler's going to be 31 this year.
I would quite literally rather have all of these running backs over over Isaiah Pacheco.
Bro,
would you compare
I see
them,
Swift
Brenner?
on a Pacheco level.
Okay, dude, because I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, dude.
I mean, say what you're gonna say. Say it.
I don't hate him. Now, we've had really kind of poor running back play for the last 2 seasons. The only highlight for the Chiefs running back room is Kareem Hunt in short yardage situations. You're talking about DeAndre Swift running right into Darnell Wright. I mean, that's the same shit we're dealing with on the Chiefs with Pacheco ever since his injury last year.
And we haven't touched on it. Darnell Wright is a must pick up 50-year option. I think he's one of the best right tackles in the league.
So since they've both been in the league, Pacheco averages about the same yards per attempt and is about as valuable AV wise. He has less yards because he's played in 12 less games, but he only has 800 less yards in that span. So if the touches were similar, they'd be about the same.
Be similar.
What?
So, I just was agreeing with you.
Okay. Swift is a better receiving back, but their yards per reception, 6.3 to 7.3. It is a yard off, so that's a decent number.
That is, I would not say that Caleb Williams takes as much advantage of his checkdowns as maybe he should.
Well, but that's the thing. That's like when I say Swift is known for that like shiftiness and open space ability and speed, he doesn't utilize it from the backfield. He only utilizes it in the receiving game, and that's fine. But that's what, like, you have to be able to do both if you're a receiving back. You can't just be
making that much money.
Yeah, you got to be making $4 million in that case. Which, to be fair, if he wants to come out and be like, yeah, I'll play for $3 million, I'm all in. Swift is great. That's great for you guys. That's fine. But if he's gonna make legitimate running back one money, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. No, that's 100% too much money. You should be making half of that for what you do for this team. This engine would run. He is a piston in this engine, and it would run just fine with a new piston in it. I promise. He is not the thing that makes this offense go. He's not even like a top 4 thing that makes this offense go. So, bye. Have a good day. I'll draft a 6th-round rookie again, a 5th-round rookie again, and we'll plug him into your spot, and we'll keep chugging on at least this level, if not higher.
And that's the thing, too, is running backs. You can get a 3rd-round running back, and he'll make a difference on your team.
That's what we talked about that last week.
But like,
I wasn't here last week. So
as an example, I think there is literally nobody on this planet that can try to argue that Travis Etienne is a worse running back than DeAndre Swift. And his market value, you would argue that he's a worse running back? You'd argue that straight up, he's just a worse running back.
No, I said I'm not arguing
that. I thought you said I'd argue that.
I was like, I'm not ready to fight.
No, he was. I'm like,
I was like,
let's fire his eye.
Absolutely, I was ready. But Swift's open market value, not Swift's, Etienne's open market value is $6 million, and his previous contract was only $3 million a year. So I'm just not convinced. Brees Hall's a $10 million guy. Kenneth Walker, a Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker is worth 9, and you're going to pay DeAndre Swift 8. Not a chance. 0% chance. Kenneth Walker, I'm not saying he's 3 times the running back Swift is.
Would you
but
restructure his current contract or try to and maybe pay him $4 million?
It doesn't say he's up for extension eligible, so I don't think you can.
What is extension eligible?
Yeah, I didn't know
required.
There's potential outs, and after a certain point, players agree to move money from, like, for what Patrick Mahomes did, right? Where they take, hey, $40 million next year, write me a check for that $40 million today, and I'll allow you to spread it out over 3 void years on the books.
It says
so
that
you pay me that money now.
He has a potential out right now.
Yeah, because they're finally right side up, so they can get out of it this year, and they only have to pay him $1.3 million, and they would save $16 million total dollars, but before the end of this thing. So I ship him out, and bye. Have a wonderful time. Go be average somewhere else for like $2 million next year, like that. I mean, it's no question. Nobody on the open market, DeAndre Swift is not getting. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think they have a market value for him. Yeah, they just have his contract value, but they don't have like an open market value for him. But he ranks as RB sit, like, market value. No, they don't have they just have his salary rank, not his like open market value.
And were you about to say he's the 6th highest paid running back?
No, he's not the.
Oh.
There's no. He's like he's like middle of the road paid running back. Because $8 million isn't 12 or $13 million, but the RB market is so like tight in pay that Christian McCaffrey's making like 20 probably, but like, I mean, I'll pull it up. I would bet the majority, like 5 through 20, are like a $4 million difference, right?
Yeah.
Let's look here. Running backs.
There's a huge difference between 1 and like 7. There's an $8 million, but
after that, so exactly what I just said. So between 5 and 20, so 5, so 6th and 23rd, there is $5 million or less in cap hit difference.
Yeah, but
so you can get a Christian McCaffrey, Joe Mixon when he was healthy, Saquon Barkley, James Conner, Tony Pollard, who I think we all agreed was overpaid because he was the only running back in that market at the time going to Tennessee, and then DeAndre Swift. Like, Connor's had excellent production as a bell cow in Arizona for years. Saquon. Joe Mixon was a bell cow before all that happened. And that's what this contract is from, not his current play. Christian McCaffrey, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs jumps up. It goes from 11 to 14 with Josh Jacobs. And that's where Aaron Jones is at up there at 14 million. Why I said there's no chance he's playing for that. When you can have an Ashton Jeanty, now he's on a rookie scale, so that doesn't count. But Chuba Hubbard, Ramondre Stevenson for 7, Jalen Warren for 7, Bijan's still at 7, Devon Achan's at 6, James Cook's at 5, and a lot of guys on that list are going to get paid way more. But when you can have a player of that level, I mean, Derrick Henry's at 5.5 this year. Derrick Henry,
crazy.
Like there is zero reason to be paying a DeAndre Swift $8 million and Aaron Jones $14 million. It's just not necessary. Like, unless they're putting out 2,000-yard seasons for you right now, I mean, you shouldn't be spending more than 6, 7, maybe the $8 million on a guy, right? And that's for like a Kenneth Walker, freshly off a Super Bowl MVP season. So that's my rant. I do want to look at. Let's see if I can pull this up real quick before we hop off here. Yeah. So the big one, Riley. Yeah. And we haven't talked a bunch about this. We talked about this a little bit on the last episode. There's a player that's due a whole lot of money that the Bears can't really get out of, I don't think. I'll double check real quick. Yeah, no, they cannot get out of it. They're paying it or they're trading this player, and I think they should trade this player. Do you have any idea who I might be talking about?
Is it DJ?
It is DJ. I think you don't pay.
You can't cut him because you're going to lose money.
No. You got to trade him.
Yeah.
But I don't care if you're only going to get a sixth for him, like because of the contract. I don't see how you play the fourth option on your offense, $28 million. Like it just doesn't make sense.
I don't think you can lose Cole and DJ in the same offseason.
I think
it would have to be one or the other.
I think you got Colson Loveland, that replaces Cole, and then you have two guys ahead of DJ at receiver.
I'm talking more of a locker room thing.
I think Ben Johnson's the locker room now. Those guys were that in the previous regime. I feel like Ben Johnson is that now. He is the culture now. So I think if I had to pick, DJ's gone over Cole, but you cannot either that or he needs to have a massive role in the offense compared to last season. You can't have a 600-yard, 6-touchdown receiver being paid almost $30 million against the cap, and you can't get out from underneath it for 2 more years.
Yeah.
So I think you got to trade him. Now,
I've seen a lot of people throwing out DJ Moore in the trade for Max Crosby, but I don't know what.
I mean, that would take like DJ
too.
Moore and 2 firsts.
That's the trade. That's the trade I saw. It was like a couple first-round picks.
I think first and DJ Moore, maybe some.
Unless I'm mistaken, right? Max Crosby is 32. Is he way younger? Am I
29?
But Max Crosby, so he'll be 30. Yeah, he's born August, so he'll be 30 this year. So if he's 29, he'll be 30. I have a hard time giving up 2 years worth of first-round picks plus a player that's worth at least a 6th or 5th.
It rounded up, so his exact age is 28, 6 months and 2 days. So that's why
okay. So he'll be 29.
So he'll be 29 this year.
Okay, so you might get 3 more years out of him, which would be good. I just don't know if I'm willing to sink 2 years of first-round picks for only 3 years of a player.
I don't think I would.
I mean, considering Micah Parsons is 26, 25?
I don't.
Well,
I don't know off the top of my head.
Come on, load up. It's going very slowly but surely. There we go.
He's 26. He'll turn.
So he'll be 27.
Oh, he's about to be 27. Yeah.
Okay, so he'll be 27. So only a year and a half behind him or so. But you're still getting 4 to 5 years. You're getting a full contract out of Micah. You're getting a half a contract at best if he stays healthy. And not to dog on Max Crosby because I think he's an incredible player and one of my favorite people in the NFL. He had that streak of healthy games where he played a lot. That's a lot of wear and tear on those tires.
Yeah.
And maybe he's just a naturally gifted freak and he's just going to be healthy. And that's something the Bears got to decide on if they want to make that offer. But personally, I don't believe any of the NFC North teams are a player away. I really don't.
I do think Max Crosby would make the defense.
I believe Max Crosby
a top 15 defense.
I believe Max Crosby makes you guys a top 4 betting odds to make the NFC Championships level team. But that's it. Like it doesn't move the needle from playoff team to Super Bowl team because I believe the NFC North, while extremely competitive, all of us are kind of in the same area. Like I don't believe the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, or the Vikings are, oh man, if we just had that one extra guy, we would have beat Seattle and won the Super Bowl. Like, I just don't see it for many of us. So I only go give up that if I'm that one.
You don't think if the Bears added Max Crosby to that Rams game, you don't think the outcome is different?
No, I mean, maybe that one game, maybe in that one game, yes. I do not think they beat Seattle. I don't think they have a chance against Seattle. I would rather focus on building up the run game in Chicago and getting a true number one wide receiver for Caleb. I'd rather do both of those things than just get Max Crosby, because that's an option.
I think the Bears would have had a chance against Seattle. They lost an OT to the Rams, and then the Rams
they did.
only lost.
But the Rams were literally the only team all year to give Seattle a legitimate run, outside of like Baker early in the season. Late in the season, the Rams were the only people that had a chance. And
if to your point, if any team was close to being one player away, it would be the Bears.
Yeah, and like I said, I think they might have had a chance in that specific game. I don't think they had a chance to beat Seattle.
I mean, I picked Seattle to win it all, so I mean, I don't think
I know, but
I'm just saying
completely irrelevant.
I'm saying that I think it would have been close. I think that Seattle would have won, but I mean,
I don't think it would have been close. Caleb, the way the Seattle defense was playing, the disguise. Caleb has talked openly and honestly about Brian Flores and the disguise blitz being very hard for him to handle. Seattle does that as good as Flores, if not better, this season. So that would have been a huge thing. And then the Bears, Riley, what was their biggest deficiency on offense or on defense?
I mean, they were deficient all the way around except for turnovers.
Their biggest deficiency, in my opinion, was stopping the run. Stopping run-dominant teams from running, and that's what Seattle would have done. They would have just kept the ball on the ground, just like they did in the Super Bowl.
You don't think Max Crosby would have? I mean, he's got to be one of the top run defensive ends in the league.
I mean, it makes a difference.
Dominated the Bears game.
It makes a difference. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying it makes a difference. It does not swing the game. It swings the game 2.5 to 3 points. It does not swing the game 6 to 10 points. And I think if that game had happened in Seattle, the Seahawks would have been favored by 6.5 to 8.5 points. And I don't think Max Crosby swings the leg back the other way enough. Sorry, my dog was scratching at my door. I just don't. I see. Here's my thing. Tell me if you put Max Crosby on the Vikings or not the Packers, or the Lions, does that elevate them to Super Bowl contention? In any of your opinions?
I think the Lions does, because I'm also factoring in. I think it increases Montez Sweat's play and the entire defensive line.
Yeah, it elevates the entire play around them. No question about it. It does, but does it elevate them to where now they're taking a touchdown or two off the board? I don't think so. I think it elevates maybe the difference between a red zone touchdown and getting a stop on 3rd and goal, and now we have a field goal.
I think it takes the Bears from a 23rd ranked defense to a 13th ranked defense, which I think would be good enough with a top 10 offense.
A teens level defense, but I'd probably put them somewhere between 15 to 20. I don't know if I'd give them just a top 15 defense off adding Max Crosby alone, because the Packers, I actually don't know this. I should probably clarify this beforehand. Before I speak on this. I should How
much did Micah Parsons improve the Green Bay defense?
Yeah. Like, they gave up 40 to Dallas, 25 to Pittsburgh, 18 to Cincinnati, and then they did give up, they give up 21 to the Bears, 24 to the Lions. Those are division games. They give up 34 to the Broncos, which is big, and 41 to the Baltimore Ravens, which is big, but they were hot. The Broncos one is the biggest one for me. So it did swing the favor, I don't know. I don't see it for any of the NFC North teams right now. I just don't. I mean, all of us, I see us all, like I've said, the Bears were one kickoff return away from not making the playoffs at all, like in that Vikings game, right? So to say that, for them to get to play the Packers, who I think were the worst playoff team in the NFC by far, I think they were the worst playoff team in the NFC, to get to play them, if they had played anybody else, the Bears, I think they would have lost in the first round, other than maybe the Panthers. I think the Panthers and the Bears are on a similar level. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But I just don't.
Vikings fan.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I don't see us as better than the Bears. I don't see us as all that much worse than the Bears. We split with them. It's just kind of, I see us in a very similar area, and they might be like right here, but like the Seahawks are up, like way up here in comparison to the whole rest of the NFC, except for in a division game against the Rams. I think that's the only reason the Rams stood a chance is because they're within the division. I think any non-divisional opponent for Seattle would have got waxed.
I don't know.
know.
I think it would be closer, especially if you had Max Crosby. But the other half
closer.
Is the Bears were counted out at every point throughout the season, so it's hard for me to justify. You know what I mean? Like, you're counting the Bears out. They were counted out to make the playoffs. They were counted out to beat Green Bay. They were counted out to have a close game with the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, they were favored to beat Green Bay.
Were they?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I took them. They were favored.
As a Bears fan, it felt like they were counted out amongst the national media.
Well, that's because you were playing Green Bay.
Yeah.
Okay, Green Bay is the NFL's. Like, I talk a lot about Chicago getting the darling treatment from the NFL. You will not find an NFL media person talk bad about the Packers. It will not happen. It will not happen. So
it's the NFL's golden child.
It is the NFL's golden child. So it is what it is on that front. But I don't feel like I feel like it's better suited for the Bears as an organization to go build a better all-around team. Like Seattle went 10-7, missed the playoffs last year. They didn't go, oh, we got to reach for this one guy to really put us over the edge and make the Super Bowl. No, they went and they dispersed their assets evenly. They drafted well. They signed a few key free agents, one of them being an edge rusher, but an older edge rusher that was cheap that they knew could come in and play situationally and secure every position and be great. And I see too many holes in the Bears defense for Max Crosby to be the difference, right? Like, oh, well, you throw him in there and they're fine. Like, there's still problems in the secondary. There's still problems in the run defense with the linebackers.
Do you think there's problems in the secondary when everyone was healthy? Because Jalen Johnson missed about the entire year.
Yeah. I think they played better with Jalen Johnson out of the lineup. I think Jalen Johnson was more of a hindrance in the lineup this season. He did not look good. And that's something, I mean, we've talked about that.
No, that's a fair, because I said the same thing, but he had, 3 games all season to be the top corner that we think of him as?
Yeah, he did not perform at that level this season, and he could bounce back and play at that next season, and I'm kind of accounting for that. I'm more expecting him to get back more into form.
Yeah.
But you're losing one, if not potentially both of your safeties. You don't have a full-blown solution at the other cornerback. You're losing at least one of your linebackers, and you don't have a true D tackle to just absolutely be dominant inside. Just taking Max Crosby and throwing him at D end across from Sweat probably helps you out. It does. It helps. I don't believe that's the difference between the Bears being a playoff team and a Super Bowl team. And I don't like that move for any team unless you were in the Super Bowl and you lost by 6 points. If you're in the Super Bowl, you lose by 6. Oh my God, we were this close. Everybody's coming back. We have the exact same team. Let's go get a star that'll come in and produce 15 sacks to put us over the edge. I'm on board. Anything but that, and I don't like that move. I like the roster building. I like the creating a dynasty. I like the Kansas City Chiefs move because I believe quarterback is the only position that makes up 10 points or more, right? Like if you're one quarterback away, that's a different story. But if a defensive end, a left tackle, even a receiver, like you could go put Jamar Chase on the Titans and they're not going to turn around and be a 10-win football team. But you could take, I don't know, let's just take you could go take Brock Purdy and put him on the Titans, and they're probably a 50-50 for an 8-9 win football team because his floor is 7 wins as a quarterback. Like he's good enough to win 7 games every year. And so Kirk Cousins was that way, right? Like Kirk Cousins in his prime, any team you put him on is going to be a 7-8 win football team, but they're also not going to be a Super Bowl team. So I don't know. I think the Bears should focus more on solidifying the entire roster versus going and getting that one guy and reaching for that thing, because it's the exact thing they did with Khalil Mack, or sorry, the opposite of what they did with Khalil Mack. There was a team out there that was like, ooh, we're one player away, and they sold him off. And kind of what they did with Khalil Mack on the front end with the Raiders, where they went and got him from the Raiders because they felt like they were one big superstar away, and they got to the playoffs, and it was a close game against Philly, but they lost. But they lost, and Philly ended up losing later on. Like, they weren't like, oh, but we were a missed field goal away from making the Super Bowl.
I don't think we make the playoffs if not for Khalil Mack.
Well,
it was a great team, but I don't
take
think
all those assets that you gave up for Khalil Mack and give me 4 or 5 starter or better level players, and you probably make the playoffs, and you might win that game. You're in as good, if not better, a position, unless you win the Super Bowl. The only time I know of that play working out is Matthew Stafford and the Rams, where you went and got that guy to put you over the top. And it was
I'm pretty sure that was the trade isn't that the pick that turned into Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abrams, and Cleveland Farrell?
Probably. I don't know.
For the Raiders.
I don't know, but the Raiders are the Raiders. They screwed that up.
Well, yeah.
They biffed on that so hard. But I mean, look, the Detroit teams that we're seeing right now were built off the Matthew Stafford trade. They sold Stafford, got a reliable veteran quarterback that could operate an offense. They got a high-end running back, a high-end tight end. They went and got their linebackers, and they got, a crappy season, so they got their star edge rusher in Aiden Hutchinson, right? You get all those things, and their cornerback play in Detroit has never been spectacular since Dan Campbell's been there, but they haven't really tried to get any assets there. They haven't spent high money. They got DJ Reed, I guess, if you want to call that the solution, but I don't think, like, DJ Reed got to play across from Sauce Gardner, so he was facing number 2s every week. So going from that to being the guy is different in the NFL. You go from guarding Jalen Naylor to guarding Justin Jefferson, and you don't look as good. So that's just how that works. I believe that Ben Johnson is a coach that will prioritize, and Poles is a little more trigger happy on that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Poles is, but I believe Ben Johnson's very much hey, we're going to be a tough, gritty team, and we're going to put our nose to the grindstone, and we're going to be well-rounded, and we're going to win. And if we don't win, we're going to try it. He is the Dan Campbell mentality, but with football IQ and acumen. And that's what I think makes him so special, because Dan Campbell is a great leader. For all the crap I give that guy, he's a great leader of men, not a good football coach. Ben Johnson is also a good football coach. And provide me with another... I'm trying to think here. Provide me with another scenario where a team was a playoff team, went and got that guy, and then won the Super Bowl. Like, it doesn't really work, because you have
Buccaneers
to
went and got Tom Brady and won the Super Bowl.
I said that's not a quarterback.
Oh, not a QB.
Literally said not a quarterback.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that. But
Miami thought they were Tyreek Hill away, and all they did was help the Chiefs win back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what was a team, because
it would have to be one from a while back, because the same couple teams have been winning the Super Bowl the last.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think, like the Ravens. They weren't that. The Joe Flacco just had an insane run, and the defense played great. The Giants beat the Patriots. The Saints were built over multiple seasons. Those Colts teams were built over multiple seasons. I'm trying to think of who was a team away. Seattle was built over multiple seasons. The Packers team was built over multiple seasons. To give you an example of when it didn't work out, Jared Allen and the Vikings, right? I love Jared Allen. So glad he was a Viking. Super awesome dude. But the Vikings felt in 07, 08, we were winning the division, right? We're in a position to be division winners. Here's a guy that's on the trade market that's a top 3 DN. Let's go get him. Let's go make that move. And then they went back to...
Anybody say Eagles and Saquon?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one. But they also had a top 5 defense both seasons. But that is a good one. That's a good one. But they didn't trade for Saquon. They signed him in free agency, so they didn't have to give up.
I know, but they still added him.
That is a good one, though. That is a good one. But I was more thinking like you had to give up things to get that player, like trade assets and other things and first-round picks. But just as the Jared Allen, it didn't work out with Jared Allen. Like I wish it would have, obviously. They won back-to-back divisions and then went to the NFC Championship off that move, but they still didn't win the Super Bowl. So I don't love that move for the Bears' future. As a Vikings fan, go for it. But as somebody who's trying to do what I think I would do as the best case scenario for a football organization, I mean, unless you're going to give me him for 1 first-round pick, I'll think about it. Anything more than that,
first-round pick and DJ Moore?
Good. Because I have to pay him now. So I'm going to have to lose other stuff on my team.
Well, Max Crosby already got paid.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to pay Max Crosby now. I have to give you a first-round pick, pay Max Crosby, and give you a player that's worth at least another 5th.
How much more money is he making than DJ Moore?
I assume at least DJ Moore is set to make 28, so at least $12 million. So that's a special teamer and a starting running back.
In my opinion, I think Max Crosby is.
So in that case scenario, you're giving up a DJ Moore, you're giving up a first-round pick, you're giving up a starter, a low-level starter, and then an additional pick. So that's 4 for 1 when you might only get 2 to 3 years out of this guy. I feel like that's
I think we're in a Super Bowl in the next 2 to 3 years, because it's not like we have the top 10 draft pick. We have the 23rd.
Yeah, no, but that the Justin Jefferson was the 21st. So you can get high-level draft play later in the first round, and I would much rather take my chances on that guy being a star to help Caleb than a defensive stud.
We can't go offense with. I think we're retaining everyone from last season.
Look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes right now.
Yep.
Imagine it's 1997, and I say, "Oh, dude, we can't take Randy Moss. We have Chris Carter, and dude, we have 2,000-yard receivers on our team. We can't take Randy Moss." Don't let good.
Did that win you guys the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Did that win you a Super Bowl?
No. But what I'm saying,
your point is being a well-rounded team. The offense is already above average. The defense is what needs improved.
Don't let good be the enemy of great. That's my point. Don't let being a good team, which is what you are, and I think Max Crosby would help you be a good team in the future. Don't let that be the enemy of being a great team and nailing a first-round defensive edge guy, getting a 5th rounder for DJ Moore, filling the RB spot with that, and now you have all your other draft picks, and you secured the Max Crosby position already. You got a guy who is his level or comparable to his level in the first round. This is a loaded edge rusher class and when I say loaded, I mean there are a lot of guys within the same area. Yeah. Like there's 5 guys who are very similar, and they're all going to go from that 12 to 30 spot. So go get a guy who you really like and keep all your draft capital. I don't know. You're the wrong guy because I don't believe going and getting that guy works. Reaching for that star player doesn't work.
Just because you don't believe that doesn't work doesn't mean that teams would not literally cut their dicks off to win a Super Bowl. And if
I agree. They would.
Even if it means we're just good for this 1 year and he's 31, it doesn't matter if you have the proof or not, Brunner. I still think a team would do it if
I'm not saying the Bears won't do it. I'm not saying the Bears won't do it. I'm saying I don't think they should do it. I'm giving my
I don't think a first-round pick. If you got DJ Moore and a first-round pick for Max Crosby. I mean, we gave up 3 first-round picks for Khalil Mack back.
Yeah, but Khalil Mack was a 2-position All-Pro coming off an amazing season at 26 years old.
Yeah, but I don't think a first-round pick is unfair.
What?
I think that is a fair trade for Max Crosby.
If Micah Parsons gets you 2 firsts in a player, I don't think it's unfair to ask for 1 first and a player for Crosby. I don't think that's unfair. I'm saying that should be the standard. And I'm not willing to do that. Like, I don't think going and reaching for that one player because you believe you're a player away does it for me. I mean, literally look at Green Bay last season. They did the exact same thing. They were a fringe playoff team, and they were like, ooh, we barely lost that. You know, we're just that one guy away. Put us over the edge. They get Parsons. Granted, he got hurt, but I don't think Green Bay was winning the Super Bowl with Micah Parsons this year. They didn't look like some Super Bowl unbeatable team. It in my opinion, it would reflect that almost exactly. I would like to see the Bears. If I'm a fan of the Bears or I'm running the Bears, I would much rather see build the whole team and make the whole team great and win 4 Super Bowls. Personally, because I believe you guys are at the start of a Super Bowl window. And so if you keep stacking good drafts together, now you're prolonging a good Super Bowl or a good Super Bowl window. Whereas if you just reach for Max Crosby, then you're literally saying it's win now or nothing. So you're cutting off.
Because you're still going to have all the rest of your picks throughout the draft.
Yeah, you will.
Like, I don't think you're not just foregoing the draft for this.
No, not at all. Not at all. But I don't think the Bears will get Crosby for a first and DJ Moore. I don't think they would trade him for that. I think that's a fair trade value. I think they would demand more than what Micah got because they'll sit down at the negotiation table and go, he's better than Micah, which you can debate that all day. I don't care about the semantics of that. I think the Bears would have to give up 2 first player plus late picks to get Crosby. And I don't agree with doing that. If it was just DJ Moore and a first round pick, do I think the Bears would do it in a heartbeat? Do I agree with that? Not 100%. No. I don't think it's the worst decision. I don't agree with building a team that way. I don't think it works for the long term. And if the Bears could get that, I'm sure they would take it. 0% chance the Raiders are going to move him for a first round pick and a player. Any other thoughts and opinions? Are we all good? Riley, you got anything you want to add for the Bears?
Not really. I got
All right.
everything out of the way. Only
Sounds
took
good.
an hour.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's an hour of Bears talk, baby. We'll see y'all next week. Peace. All right.